As I pointed out in an earlier part, one of the reasons why so many people are so easily played and disadvantaged in the political stakes is because they've got limited insight and limited network of relationships around the organisation, which is where I want to focus now, because it is absolutely mission critical that progressively you build what we call social capital. Social capital is the quantity and quality of the relationships that you have around the organisation. And as with other forms of capital, it does have a value, and a very important value, particularly at more senior levels. And what it does for you as you build it gives you a resource base that you can tap into when you need to. Other people in different parts of the organisation who you can give a quick call to and say, hey, I've heard this, what's going on there? Is that right? Or can I just run something by you? And to get other insights and other thoughts coming to you that will help you not only respond to the political games or tricks that might be being played on you, but also in the day-to-day work that you have. So the more resources that you've got, the better. The other important thing and reason why social capital is absolutely necessary is because if you want to handle the politics well, you've got to understand the decisions that people are making and the way they're making the decisions. And unfortunately, despite some people wishing this were the case, decisions are not made solely on hard data. In fact, in the majority of cases, most of the decisions are made by the individual's feelings, how they are approaching and feeling about a particular situation. Do they feel good? Intuitively, do they think this is the right thing to do? Which is a very subjective thing to outsiders to be able to perceive. And you cannot get things like that from spreadsheets, from hard data results that you can just read. You can only get that by engaging with people, talking to people as informally as possible so that they open up and start to share how they're feeling, how they're thinking, what their opinions are. And those things to many people are very subjective, but what I want to try and encourage you to do is to reduce that subjectivity as much as possible by learning and listening as much as you can to the people that you've got within your network. As you do that, you start to almost get a sense of the way things could go in an organisation, the mood of the organisation or the department that you're operating in, what's actually going on, how people are feeling. And this is really, really important to help you to be able to make good decisions about what you do to further your cause, but also how you might respond to other people who are trying to get you to do things that you don't necessarily agree with. So the point here is that you've got to get beneath the skin of many of these things, which means it's quite sensitive information, intelligence and insight that you're trying to gain, which means it's very sensitive, and therefore you've got to build the trust very, very well with these people. Otherwise, well, why would they tell you how they're thinking or feeling about a particular situation? So again, it comes back to building those really good relationships, but in a broad way. If you haven't got social capital, you are not going to survive the political turmoil. You are going to have problems. It's almost like having both hands tied behind your back. So I would advocate very, very strongly that you look very closely at your network, where it is at the moment, where it isn't at the moment, and see if you can start to find simple actions that you can take to broaden that network, but also deepen the intimacy of those relationships, so they're not just acknowledgements, people, acquaintances that you know and can say hello to, that you can very quickly get into quite a deep, interesting conversation with. And if you can do that progressively, you will build far greater insight into the way the organisation as a whole is making decisions, but also, mission critical, the agendas and the personal agendas of the key people around the place.